All right, welcome to Fishes Pixels. I'm Rohan here with my co-host Kevin, and we're going to be talking about The Boys season 5, or the final season of The Boys, whatever you guys want to call it. Um, before we get started, do subscribe to the Pages Pixels YouTube channel, and so you don't miss any of our videos, and then make sure you turn on notifications. It really helps us out. And all right, let's get diabolical.
Watched
So,
that in forever.
huh?
The Boys Diabolical. I haven't watched that in a long time.
I actually never saw it. I just heard it was really bad. But diabolical is what Butcher always says, so that's why I said it.
I think I just watched one episode because also I logged it on Letterboxd when we watched
Oh,
like the first season, and I was like, this is a pretty good show. So
yeah. Um, but no, I haven't seen it. I have seen Gen V, which I have some thoughts about when we jump into a little bit more details. But I want to get your take first. Kind of, what do you think? What is your kind of general thoughts on season 5 of The Boys?
going into this, knowing this was the last season, you have a lot of high expectations for where you expect the characters to land, right? And so like I think I was just wondering how are they going to wrap up this story? Um, how are they going to, who's going to make it out of this obvious like bloodbath that's looming in
Hmm.
the last episode? Um, I, in general, um, my thoughts on the season are pretty low, at least compared to the other seasons of the show. I still I still had a fun time with it. There are definitely things that I really liked about the season. But there's also just a lot of stuff that I think is a result more of where the boys was already going rather than like any fault of
Right.
this season's writing doesn't really stand out against season 4 because like I figured it would head in this direction. So I guess I could say I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, I think overall I'm a little bit in the same boat as you. I think I liked it. I enjoyed it. Um, I do think that I do think that there are some flaws, and it's probably the season that I like the least. But I don't think it was a bad season. But it was I found it very inconsistent. I
Yeah, I
think
agree.
Yeah. I think overall, like, if you asked me, did you at least enjoy watching this season of The Boys? It's yes, I was having fun. I was engaged in all of the episodes. Um, I also think that, they're continuing to like knock it out of the park with all the parody stuff. The parody stuff is my favorite part of the show. Like they did the AMC
Hmm.
parody. And then it's stuff like that that I really enjoy. And there were a couple of moments, in my opinion, of that genuinely um that genuinely like got me invested in terms of like emotional. Like I think mm, obviously we're going full spoilers, but A Train's death, I think
Hmm.
it was like I think that whole sequence was extremely well done. I think he has a great redemption arc. I think Frenchie's death um was also really sad. And so yeah, I mean overall like I kind of enjoyed the show.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I think the first episode of the season is not that bad of a start. There's a
Hmm.
lot of questionable things that I think come from this episode, like seeing, Huey and Frenchie and MM, they're in these like internment camps for Homelander,
Yeah.
basically. And obviously a lot of time had passed. And I think that might be one of the elements that worked pretty poorly for me. Like it felt like they made conflict from something that I just didn't care about. Like maybe it was a little cliche, but like having their conflict be like Annie waited so long to save Huey, and now they're like, what? Who do we even trust and stuff? I'm like, this feels a little bit like silly of a direction to go.
Yeah, I actually think this kind of brings me to one of my biggest issues is I think so I mean there's like writing and a lot of people are disappointed with this season, disappointed with the finale and are just like yeah, it's poorly written and I think that's something that gets thrown around with many shows that disappoint. I think Game of Thrones is obviously the big one.
Hmm.
Everyone goes, "Oh, this the final season was so poorly written." I'm going to disagree with Game of Thrones there. I think there is writing on a scene by scene level, and then there is in terms of like how the scenes play out and all that, what the dialogue is. That's kind of what I mean. And then there is the decision making in terms of like the actual plot points that happen. So from Game of Thrones, I disagree. I think the writing is actually good, but I think the decision making is what people didn't like.
Hmm.
So as a result, it kind of gets lumped together with bad writing. I think The Boys season 5. I'm not gonna say the writing was bad on a scene to scene level, but I think it was definitely subpar, particularly with the main characters of The Boys. Like I just feel like, as you said, there's the conflict feels forced. It um for a lot of the episodes, it feels like there's nothing happening, and I honestly was a lot more invested in like the thoughts of the villains than I was in the boys themselves.
Right, like, and I understand that take. I will say I have felt that way since the beginning. Like I've always been more interested in Vought and what is Vought doing because it's campy, it's hilarious, and usually it's the most interesting like stuff going on because they
Hmm.
are some of the dumbest people to ever exist, right? But they're getting shit done like all
Yeah.
the time. They have power and resources, and it's kind of crazy how much they get away with it considering the boys group are all very in, seemingly intelligent people, but they kind of also just almost none of their plans like work according to plan, almost usually because a soup is like horrendously stupid or incompetent.
Yeah, I mean, I will actually agree with you that I think I did always care about the stuff happening with Bot a little bit more than the boys. I just think the disparity this season was so large to the point where like I mean there was times where when we're spending time with the boys, it felt like filler. Like and
Hmm.
I was just like, can we move on? Didn't quite feel it to that extent in the previous seasons.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's also because this season has like a lot of the more heavy hitting like deaths in the show and
Hmm.
trying to balance that with their vulgar humor just wasn't working as much for me like I wanted it to. Um and that's
Yeah.
I mean there was definitely like a lot of emotional scenes. I mean, I actually one of my I was sad about A Train a lot. Like he was awesome. And I was sort of sad about Frenchie. Not that much as I wanted to admit. But I was actually really sad about Firecracker because not
Hmm.
because I thought that she would get redemption, but just because her whole story is really sad in general. Like she had so many opportunities to turn away and she never took it. And the way that she just like had no I think she was like almost completely oblivious to everything the Homelander was doing. Well, maybe not completely oblivious, but like she was blinded by it. Um
Yeah.
and he just kills her for just basically no reason. No good reason.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like he just kind of felt like she didn't worship him and was just afraid of him, which was kind of a running theme. And yeah,
Hmm.
um, I actually do think that that episode did stand out as one of the better
Hmm.
episodes. Uh,
What did you make of
and
the celebrity cameos?
oh, I thought it was hilarious, honestly. Yeah, and then Soldier Boy like killed all of them.
Well, it's technically the guy that was running because he just
But
kind of
yeah, I
stuck.
suppose that's correct.
Mr. Marathon, I think.
Forgot his name, but yeah, I think yeah, because he just accidentally kept running into them the way that A Train ran into Robin at the to open the to open the show.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about the universe building of the boys. Because this is, I mean, this is a shared universe with Gen V, and I know that you didn't watch Gen V, but I think this is Gen V. I mean, I actually quite liked Gen V. I thought season two was great, and but I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was like, hey, the creator, like that's just something Amazon was like, hey, let's have a spin-off show or like a different show in the same universe, but then the creators didn't want to actually have that universe. Regardless, I had some issues with it. So, because if you watch Gen V, right, the main character is Marie Moreau, and in this entire or in season two, it is all about her developing her powers. And towards the end of the towards the end of the season, you learn that there is that not all soups are created the same, and there is a certain category of soup. I forget what they call it, but it's like the strongest ones. And Homelander is one. Um, and the other one is Stormfront is another one, and the third one is Marie. And then the season ends with Marie meeting Starlight, and you presumably it's going to lead into season five of The Boys. And then she's just like not in season five at all. Um, and it just makes no sense in universe because you have a character who you establish as this is this is someone who can go toe to toe, maybe even defeat Homelander one on one. Um, but we're just not going to use her at all.
What if Homelander just like one shot Marie Monroe and like all that actually happened didn't happen in the show? Like what if everything you said happened but like she died to Homelander and didn't kill him?
I think I would have been a little bit like disappointed, but it would have. I think I honestly would have preferred that as opposed to her just not being there.
Hmm.
It is like it's like at the end of Avengers: Infinity War where they have the post credit scene and everything looks like it's doomed. And Samuel L. Jackson, he has the pager and it's Captain Marvel. And that's the implication. Captain Marvel's gonna come. She's gonna play a significant role. She's gonna save them all. And then imagine we got Endgame and Captain Marvel just never showed up at all. And it's like they kind of just forgot to invite her. Uh,
I see.
that's kind
Yeah.
of what it felt like.
Well, having not seen the show, right? Like, I mean, I presumed these characters were going to be important just because they were there. Like, I didn't really question why they were there. Like, I had known about Gen B, I just didn't know. And I knew she was like, I knew like a little bit about her. I remember seeing like a scene with her and Nadia, like on YouTube or something, which I was like, it looks okay. Um, But yeah, they really didn't do anything with her, and since I didn't know who she was, like it just felt so out of place. They were definitely not important to the narrative. I'm gonna ask the same question I did earlier though. What if she did kill Homelander in this timeline? Because and Butcher didn't.
Um, so I would have preferred that Butcher be the one. I just think that she should have been part of that fight somehow. Um, I just think it makes zero sense for her not to be in that fight. Um, because all they did was kind of be like, hey, you got to take some Starlighters to Canada, right? Which I will say, I think there was that whole movement of like the Homelander diehards and the Starlighters, and I think that just kind of the Starlighters kind of just don't exist in this season. I mean, they're mentioned a couple
Hmm.
times, but they're not there, and then it's also like, I mean, like what really would stop Homelander from going to Canada to if he wanted to kill them, right?
Yeah. So I mean, in the end, we get a finale that has um, a lot of build up, and then the climactic fight between our main heroes and villains is in the middle of the episode. Um, I felt like that was a bit of a strange decision, but like I get why they did it because they were trying to wrap up the stories of everyone else after. Um, but I don't know, something felt like so. I don't want to say like super rushed, but I don't know what other word I would use to describe it.
I think I would agree with that word, honestly. Like, and again, I liked the entire season. I had some major issues with the finale, which again, I think the decision making of the season was not the best, and unfortunately, it kind of culminated in a finale. Like, I don't think you can just fix that finale without fixing other elements of of the season. But I, yeah, I agree with you. I think having having Homelander die in the middle of the episode was an odd decision. It felt rushed. It also just felt too easy, in my opinion.
Hmm. It did. Like he felt nerfed in the scene, and I was a little bit confused. I actually was surprised he couldn't fight back at all after he got beamed. Like it makes sense. He's not going to be as strong,
Yeah,
maybe as Butcher, but yeah, like I mean, I think he definitely was like I don't know what is stopping him in this scene from blasting people up to space like he did Elon.
exactly. The power scaling it was a big issue with Homelander because in the first episode he's also like he keeps up with A Train basically, um,
Hmm.
and gets him, and then in the final fight he's moving at just an average human pace. And that's another area where if you had Marie, uh, if you like if you had her, right, her entire superpower is bloodbending, basically. Like she most people or soups, she can probably just rip them apart if she wants to. Now, she might not do that with Homelander, or maybe she can't do that with Homelander, but maybe she can slow him down, which would allow Kimiko to fire the blast at him.
Yeah, I mean
Versus,
that feels like a pretty reasonable thing to add.
yeah, versus he's just kind of moving like, yeah, it just feels like they had to scale him down, which is unfortunately the issue that pops up
Hmm.
when when you have characters this strong that oftentimes it's really hard to keep their power level consistent, but then have them lose the fight somehow.
Hmm. What if they reveal in Gen V that she did do something, but they didn't show it at all?
Well, there's not going to be any more Gen V, so
Oh, so it's just done. So that was just
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Yeah, that's really shitty. What the heck? What's the point then? Huh.
yeah.
Okay, I gotta talk about the deep of it all, because I think, is it Chance or Chase Crawford? Um, that's the actor, Chance Crawford, I think.
I'm gonna look it up real quick, but you keep talking.
He is just so hilarious as the Deep. And I thought that he brought it
It's Chase.
again this season. Chase Crawford. He's
Yeah,
just like really hilarious. His plot with Black Noir this season was um was really funny. And then all of the ocean animals, they're like turning on him for the oil crisis. Um
yeah.
and
The
then to
Samuel
top it,
Jackson shark.
oh yeah, oh my gosh. I didn't even
Yeah.
recognize that at first until like I was like, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chase Crawford as the Deep is just incredible because the Deep is maybe after Homelander, like probably objectively the worst like character on the show when you look at like just like a morality perspective.
Yeah.
And you should hate him. Uh and I mean I probably would hate him if I lived in that universe, but as a character watching him on screen, it's he is he's so fun to watch, and that is all, not all, but a lot of the credit goes to Chase Crawford for the way he plays this character because he's like, yeah, he's super scummy, but in a way that you are laughing at him.
Hmm.
Um,
Right. Like he plays it just so well, and um I think that it's hard to like um it's hard to like a character like him because of everything he did in season 1 to make him so despisable. But because he gets like humiliated like all the time, it makes it like all the better to watch.
yeah, it's funny that we mentioned casting because just off topic, there is a an awful AI slop video going around recently of hey, what if the Avengers cast played the characters from the boys, and it's like Chris Evans is Homelander, not Soldier Boy for some reason. Um
Yeah, what?
Robert Downey Jr. is Butcher. But the best casting, it's not the Deep. I forget who the Deep. Actually, the Deep is Chris Hemsworth, but the best casting is Kimiko, played by Sebastian Stan.
I don't get that one.
I
But
don't either, but when I first saw that on my timeline, it was like a quote tweet, and they were like, "You will never get a guess who they cast as Kimiko." And it's the final, of course, Kimiko is the final like reveal, and it's Sebastian Stan, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" Yeah, and Anthony
was
Mackie was Frenchie, so that's the ship, I
okay.
guess.
I get, oh, because they're both soldiers in
Yeah,
Captain America. Which was ScarJo? Which one was ScarJo? I've got to know
he
if
was
you don't.
Firecracker.
She, the worst. This casting sucks. She would be so much better like all the others.
Yeah,
What? Okay,
I think
who was
Elizabeth
Starlight?
Olsen was Annie.
And she should have been Queen Maeve.
They did not have a Queen Maeve in there yet.
That sucks. Maeve's like my favorite boys character, maybe. I'm
Oh
sad
yeah,
she's
she was
gone.
she was great.
Yeah, like okay. Getting off of the or ending the topic of the deep, like I will say his death, I've seen a lot of people say that they were disappointed in his death. And I also saw an AI video in which he fought all of the ocean animals and they all died. Um, and I was like, and they were like, this is what the deep should have happened to the deep. And I'm like, people have to just be like rage baiting right now. There's no way that you actually believe that the Deep should have lived when all these other people have died.
Um, I I agree that he should have died. Um, but I also agree that I think the way he went out was a little bit like, I mean, it just left me thinking, oh, that's it? Uh,
Yeah, I almost am surprised he didn't get killed by Homelander. But then he explained why he never will kill the Deep, and that made it actually so much better.
yeah,
Because I was like, at this point, if you're Homelander, why do you even have him? And then he's just like, because you're the most useless, worthless, stupid piece of crap I've ever laid my eyes on. And just watching you live and stumble through life is a pure entertainment to me. Like I know that's not exactly what he said, but you could tell that like he felt it and he was so hurt. He was like crying.
yeah. I mean, part of me thought that he might try to turn on Homelander in that moment, and then Homelander kills him.
Mm,
But instead he just stays faithful the entire time. I think the thing that that made me upset with his death was, and maybe this is a question about like, hey, what do you think of like Annie's character? But the fact that it felt like an accident, um,
hmm
she like, 'cause, she tells him to take responsibility, and he goes no, and then she kind of just shoves him into the ocean, and he dies, and it even cuts to her, and she has a look of concern, like, or like a oh oops
hmm
face. Kind of, I'm good with Annie. I actually like the fact that she is the one who would kill him. Kind of wish she actually wanted to kill him instead of like, oh, oops.
I mean, yes, but is that what Annie would do? Like
I
at
don't
this
know.
point, it's hard to believe that Annie would kill anyone, e-
Hmm.
even with everyone that she has like killed. Most of them have
Yeah,
been just like out of the defense and safety of other people. I'm killing this person. I don't
yeah.
think she's truly made like a murderous intentional kill because then she's no better, you know.
Or maybe just more of a fight, I guess. Um,
Yeah, it was very anticlimactic.
yeah, and then as a result, you didn't have Annie um in the White House against Homelander. And I know it's like, okay, how many people are you gonna have against Homelander? But that's why I think they should have the finale should have just been different. It shouldn't have just been um Homelander. Is it Allfather, the preacher guy?
Father, yeah,
Yeah,
David Diggs.
yeah. Um, great, but the casting, best death of the episode of the finale for sure. Uh,
Yeah. It's ironic when you
and
realize like he would have died anyway, like
yeah.
because he would have put he was the one who was putting it on.
And then it's kind of just the deep, but that's why I think you fundamentally there should have been like different. Like that's why Homelander has a lot of supporters. There should have been like more soups that they had to go up against just to get to Homelander, and then in the finale there should have been more. I mean, honestly, I think Soldier Boy should have been there. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas of how I would have. I mean, nothing like concrete because it's not like I decided to actually write a Google Doc or whatever. Just kind of thoughts in my head, but it's like if I were uh writing the show,
hmm
what I would do differently. And of course, it's like Monday morning quarterbacking a little bit, but
They, I don't know how much the boys cost, but I am a little bit surprised that they didn't put a lot of money into like a big, crazy fight. I think that's why so many people get sidelined, is they just like they made it
possibly.
they made it like you could like because that's kind of like one of those secretive filmmaking things where in writing, and I know I haven't written a lot of TV stuff, but I mean you kind of have to adhere to what you have accessible. Like you could have a scene in which someone is driving up like a, you've got 50 cars driving up a hill, but
Right.
like then you learn you only have so much money to shoot, so you only end up shooting like one shot, and then you duplicate 50 cars. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? So like I think it's uh it's definitely a little bit of a letdown, I think, in terms
Hmm.
of like action. Um that said, I do think narratively I do feel satisfied at the end of the day. Like I'm okay with how everything's turned out. It did feel very safe. Um a very safe finale, but in
Yeah.
general, like I was happy with it. I was a little bit emotional that it was over.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was very safe. I don't necessarily think I was narratively satisfied. Well, I definitely wasn't satisfied from an action standpoint.
Hmm.
And I know that there's probably a budget issue, but it feels weird that this feels like it almost had a smaller budget than the other finales. Like I can
Yeah,
remember
like
that season two finale, that Homelander Stormfront fight. I remember the season three finale was pretty
yeah.
epic.
Was that Soldier Boy and
Yeah.
Maeve? Yeah, I thought that was. I think that felt higher budget
Hmm.
than the White House fight, honestly.
Yeah, I think narratively there are like some things that I have an issue with. Um, I again already talked about Marie. I just think I wish we had more Stan Edgar, and there was a lot of stuff they teased also that I felt didn't come back. Like they mention that Stormfront could be alive, uh, because I mean basically it's the idea is that, oh hey, she committed suicide, and Soldier Boy says she would never do that, and then he asks, did you ever see the body? And Homelander, it's kind of implied that he didn't see the body. So it that was, I mean, it led to a lot of speculation of like, hey, maybe Stormfront could be back, and maybe it could be Stan Edgar working with Stormfront. And again, another power that Marie Moreau has is that she can heal people, even when they're like burnt to a crisp. It's literally what she did in the end of season two. So maybe he gets her to Marie to bring back Stormfront, kind of convincing that, hey, um let's use her to fight Homelander. But it's, of course, can you really trust Stan Edgar? And he's just trying to get Vought back. But you would get this like conflict triangle because you have the boys, you have Homelander, and you have Stan Edgar slash Stormfront. So it would be interesting. I think the way Soldier Boy's story just ends, he just kind of goes back into the freezer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets Han Soloed 3 times.
I
I think
also, sorry.
I wanted to comment on your Stormfront idea because I know that because this isn't the first time you've said it.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say that my only question with that one is Stormfront. What is her motivation? Is she actually good now? Is she reprogrammed, or is she the same that she always was?
I feel like her motivation when it comes to Homelander is, um, or well, again, I think she would kind of be doing the bidding for Stan Edgar, is more so what it would be.
Hmm.
But then I I would imagine that Stan Edgar manipulates her into really hating Homelander.
Yeah, just her personality is just so
Yeah. Or,
racist. Like I can't imagine that she like like I can't imagine them. I guess for me, I can't imagine them bringing Stormfront back unless she's either completely the opposite of how she was, or if she was like the exact same thing.
Hmm.
Um,
And hey, maybe that could be a thing. Maybe Stan Edgar thinks he can control her, and then she sees Soldier Boy and Homelander, and she joins them, and they're like that becomes another complication almost.
and then you have to kill
Uh,
all three of them.
yeah, or
God.
if Soldier Boy's not there, then yeah. But there was also speculation that she's actually could be Homelander's mom because obviously Soldier Boy and her, and maybe that's why Homelander is so powerful because
Mhm.
he's the product of two of like two of the most powerful soups.
Mm.
But yeah, that doesn't really happen. I'm not sure how feel about that. I think it would have been interesting though.
It would have been a horrifying revelation. Um,
Well, that's what the
I feel
boys is
like
all about.
I feel like the show would go there, so I'm actually surprised that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I do think my biggest issue though is the way they handled Butcher at the end.
mm,
Uh, I think I understand that they're trying to have him like go down the dark path, but then I think you mentioned safe. It's like they didn't really commit to it because he ultimately he ultimately let go of the trigger, but he still got shot. And
yeah.
I also think that him like I also think that just having those doing all that in 10 minutes just felt a little bit I don't know, it just didn't work enough to where he's like, yeah, I'm gonna be genocidal and then I'm gonna have a flashback of Lenny and then not but then still gonna
Hmm.
die.
Yeah, that's the part that I felt was most rushed because I felt like the Richie Butcher dynamic, I mean, that's the thing that hooks you into the show early
Hmm.
on. That's the thing that needs to have like the best conclusion of anything. Like, yeah, I'm happy for Huey and Annie, but I don't
Hmm.
I'll be honest, I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I'm okay with knowing less about them and knowing more about what happened to Butcher and how Richie feels about that. And the fact that they made it Richie killing Butcher,
You mean
uh,
Huey?
or sorry, Richie, because I'm thinking of the guy from Scream,
Oh yeah.
because he's that Jack Quaid is in Scream 6 as
Yeah.
Richie. Huey, and they have IE at the end of their fucking name.
Yeah.
Um, Huey, um, so yeah, Huey killing Butcher is just like so messed up because of exactly what you said. Butcher let go, and then Huey didn't see it. And he's like, "Oh man, sorry, shit, I didn't mean to kill you." And like, it did not land well for me at all. I was like,
No.
there needed to be way more
Yeah.
emotional stuff with that.
I also think that again, I think Homelander should have died a little bit later, and um I think that Butcher's arc should have been him realizing that okay, yes, releasing this virus and killing every soup is not the answer, but it's kind of what Stan Edgar said in the middle of in that one episode where your battle isn't Homelander, it's Vought. Well, he's a capitalism, but in this case, that would represent Vought. So um I think at some point Butcher needed to be ready to do that, maybe in a dire moment against Homelander. But he doesn't do that. But then he does when he does somehow
Hmm.
destroy Vought while destroying Homelander, and I think that final fight should have happened in Vought Tower, where because that's also the best set in the show.
Yeah.
The Oval Office, I'm sorry, that's an average set. We've seen that like a million times. The Vought Tower set where they all sit, the where the seven like meet, that's like the best location that the show has, and I
Hmm.
think that's where the final battle should have been, and it should have been Homelander was killed, Vought was somehow destroyed, and in the process, Butcher is also killed.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I totally, I think it could have all wrapped up in one scene. I'm not too upset about the White House because, like, it makes sense that's where he went. I almost wonder if it would have been better if maybe Homelander just destroyed the White House and made Vought
Hmm.
the new White House in a way.
Yeah,
And then that is a way to get you get both things. You get the ending in Vought Tower, but you also get this is the new Oval Office because he's officially took over. Um, you know,
is Mar-a-Lago.
yeah. Um, and then you can have Butcher dying in the uh Vought Tower on accident. Um, or dying. Maybe they both take each other out. I think that's how
Yeah.
it goes in the comics.
Hmm.
Butcher and Homelander, right?
I'm not sure how it ends in the comics. I do know that it ends up being Black Noir as the guy they have to fight at the end. Because Black Noir is a clone of Homelander, which I know that's like the reason people say no, it has to be in the White House. The comics took
Hmm.
like it ended in the White House, but it's like yeah, but Black Noir is also not a clone of Homelander in the show, so
Yeah, which I saw a lot of people saying like it should have been, and like I mean, I'm indifferent to it. I think it's a funny twist. Uh, in the I haven't read it, but like when you've seen bits and pieces, I've seen the Homelander Soldier Boy stuff.
yeah. I think if you are gonna do that twist, that doesn't require like some of the stuff that I'm saying requires a bit of a restructuring of the season.
Hmm.
If you're gonna do that twist, that requires a restructuring of like all the seasons, because I think
Yeah.
after after from again, I haven't read the comics, but from what I know, after season like 2, they basically stopped following the comics.
Another aspect that we haven't talked about is Ryan, and I think that's because Ryan doesn't matter, but
Yeah,
he kind of Deus Ex Machina the scene a little bit. I mean, he's sort of the reason why
basically.
they're able to. He fulfills what Marie Monroe's role was supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Ryan is okay. I uh,
He doesn't really like. It's just like whatever. Like his character
he's
could.
not a character I was
Yeah.
invested in.
No. He only exists to kind of be something for Butcher, but he on his
Yeah.
own. He's got an interesting dilemma, but they don't develop him. I think he would have done better if you like showed signs of sides of him outside of Butcher and Homelander.
Hmm.
Um, like who else he interacts with, and but I'm pretty sure he's like protected like the whole time, so he doesn't get a life.
Right, and yeah, that character. It's not just season 5. I don't think that character was. I mean, I think they tried to do stuff with him last season, but I don't. I think overall, like, I don't think that character was all that
There
well
was that season
developed.
where he was like, "Christmas is family, and I want my family." um, we do things on the script coverage scale, and now we're going to rate the boys based on that scale. If you haven't seen previous episodes, the way it works is a pass is a is means that we don't like the movie. Consider means that we think it's just okay, and recommend means that we thought it was really great. So, not just the boys finale, but also the whole season. What do you rate the boys?
So I know I was very negative on like this episode, like, hey, they should have changed this, should have changed that. Um, Ultimately, though, I did like the season quite a bit. Like I said, it's like the number one box that I had to check is did I enjoy watching it? And the answer was yes, very much so. I was very entertained, and but I have issues with it. So it's gonna be a weak recommend for me.
Hmm. I feel pretty. much similar thoughts, but I do think that on the whole, I enjoyed this season a lot less than I did the others. Um, like I said, I thought the premiere, I liked the one shots episode, and even the finale with all of its flaws, I enjoyed it. Um, oh, I will say there's one element I didn't talk about, which is Ashley is hilarious
Oh,
this whole season.
yeah.
She is hilarious enough to bring this up too. Um,
I loved basically everything with Ashley.
yeah, it's just that actress needs to be in more material soon. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go strong consider. I do not dislike this at all. Um,
Hmm.
if I were talking about other seasons of The Boys, they would be a recommend easily. Um, but for whatever reason, I think The Boys ended at the right time because I just was not really vibing
Yeah.
with the humor this time this season. I just didn't find it as funny. I didn't find it as memorable. Um, but I had a fun time with it, and I would watch it again in a few years.
Hmm. Oh, one thing that I think I can talk about this real quick. I think Sister Sage doesn't work. Again, I just think that she is. We're constantly told that she's the smartest character in the world, or the smartest person in the world, but I don't really think we see her do anything where you go, "Oh my God, that's really smart." And I compare her
Hmm.
to a character like Light Yagami. Um, they never kind of hit you over the head with, "Hey, They never tell you Light Yagami is the smartest person in the world. Light Yagami is the smartest. Um, but then you watch him do the stuff that he does, and you're like, "Oh my God, this guy's a genius." Um, we obviously now writing a character like Yagami is like not easy, but I don't even. It doesn't even feel like they tried to do anything with Sage.
I understand where you're coming from. I mean, I agree to an extent because I mean, if she really is the smartest person in the world, why? Like why? Like there are so many her morals and motivations just are really confusing to me, and they didn't really
Hmm.
come together. I thought that with her on the side of the boys, I thought that was always where she was gonna be, but then she kind of doesn't really commit to anything. And then
Hmm.
she loses her powers and goes to Harry Potter land, and I thought
Yeah.
that was really funny.
I do think that
So
was a funny
yeah,
joke, but yeah, ultimately, I think you remove her. I don't know how much changes. Um, I guess the only thing is like she technically helps guide Frenchie to give Kimiko the power of Soldier Boy, but
yeah,
it's not like yeah, it doesn't feel pivotal. Like you could easily just have small tweak and like, oh yeah, he's been researching it and he figured it out on his own.
yeah, just like kind of a confusing character. But I didn't hate her. I thought she was funny. I like the performance too.
Yeah, I thought the actress was good. I just think that I just didn't get the smartest person in the world thing.
Um, but yeah, with that said, I mean, are you interested in watching Bot Rising?
I I don't know. I mean, did not see the trailer that they released. I would be kind of interested in because ultimately I do like the boys. I'm just not sure because I mean I think Soldier Boy is an awesome character to watch, but I don't know how a show about him would work because he is clearly not a good guy. Like he
Yeah,
sucks. So either they're introducing a villain who is way, way, way worse, but then I feel like that kind of betrays what the boys is all about. Or they are gonna focus on like other characters who are gonna be like the boys of that time, but then it's like, well, I know they're not gonna be successful.
yeah. I mean, they may not be successful. Maybe they end up as like mercenaries or something. Like I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. It could be interesting. I think it's more likely the second thing you said. I think it will be like closer to the boys being uh like from that time period, realizing soups are bad, in a completely different era. Like I think that sounds like a cool. idea.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, like, what else have you been watching?
Um, so I just finished the Steve Carell show Rooster on HBO. Um,
Hmm.
I really liked the show. I mean, it's not like some transcendently great comedy, but it was just a lot of fun. It was really funny. I enjoyed all of I also, yeah, I just enjoyed all of the characters, the that style of humor. Um
Hmm.
so yeah, if you haven't checked out Rooster, I mean I would recommend. It's basically Steve Carell is a famous author who gets hired um to teach for a semester at a college where his daughter currently
Hmm.
teaches and is going through a really, really messy divorce.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll check it out. I haven't heard of this before.
It's on HBO.
Okay.
What about you?
So I recently watched Do Not Expect Too Much from the End of the World, which is the Radu Jude movie from 2023. So it's a little recent, but I just got around to it. It's basically like a how do I even describe this movie? I don't even know. It's basically about this girl who she's like this weird social media influencer where she pretends to be a guy like Andrew Tate with a face filter on, and she is interviewing people about work safety, and then she brings in these characters who are from a completely different other Romanian movie, like that was made in like the 70s, to come and be on video, and like they talk about work safety. It's just such a strange movie. Um, it works really. It works though. It works a lot. I wasn't a huge fan of Bad Luck Banging or Looney Porn because I just thought it
For
was so
that movie?
random. I think it's funny, but like I don't know. I think with a rewatch I would enjoy it more because now I get this style. Um, but this movie is really funny, one of a kind. Since I know you like Bad Luck Banging, you will like this movie.
Yeah, so yeah, I haven't seen this one. I have seen Bad Luck Banging or Looney Porn, and I know I love that movie. It is all sorts of weird though. So if somebody watches that movie and they're like, dude, that is the worst movie I've ever seen, it's a valid opinion, in my opinion. I think any opinion you have that movie is completely valid because
Yeah.
of just how weird it is.
I give that movie like a consider, but it's like the most middle consider I've ever had. I'm so on the fence about how I feel about it. Um, but yeah, do not expect too much from the end of the world. It's a great movie. Definitely should check it out. Did you know that he made an AI Dracula movie?
Oh, I did not.
Yeah, but okay, but the AI is supposed to be satire. I don't know. I don't know if it's real or not. Like, if it really used it or not.
Okay, okay. That was gonna be my question. Is like, is the movie about AI or is the movie done by AI?
I think it's both, unfortunately. Like, I think like the point is lost on me, so I couldn't tell you. I have a friend who has been
I,
hyping up that movie though, so I don't.
okay. It looks like it is about a filmmaker who uses an AI chatbot to create a Dracula movie.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think it does utilize some, but I don't know how
okay.
much.
Yeah. Um, I will probably, I will probably check it out.
It seems kind of crazy. I watched Baby Invasion. That movie sucks. That has like the AI baby faces. Oh my gosh. And then I think Harmony Korine said like, and he's the director of that movie. He was like, "I will never work with AI again." I'm like, thank goodness. Let's end it, man.
All right, speaking of ending things, should we end this podcast?
Sure thing.
Do you want to wrap up or should I?
Yeah. Yeah, I can wrap up. Um, Here, I'll do the lead in. Speaking of ending things, that comes to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you liked it, please hit like and subscribe. Comment below. What did you think of The Boys Season 5? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Uh, Let us know in the comments. I'm Kevin. That's Rohan. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.